So I was just down at the lake, relaxing, looking at birds, watching the ducks, talking with God, and I wrote some things down for a YouTube video idea that I had. It has to do with spiritual warfare and monitoring spirits. If your life feels like it's falling apart the moment you start trying to do better, and you're not crazy at all. If the moment that you try to change and everything starts pushing back, your thoughts, your emotions, even the people around you, the closest people that you would think that they would be your ride or die forever, you're not going crazy. This is not random. That is spiritual warfare. And most people don't talk about this the right way. I recently went through a season where every single thing in my life was stripped away from me. My wife for 6 years, the people closest to me, my family, my friends, everything. I had a heart attack, I died, brought back, medically induced coma, so many things. The people I thought would be there, they just weren't. Things that I used to use for comfort, drinking, self-medicating, didn't work. I couldn't numb anymore. I couldn't distract myself anymore, and I had to get rid of these things. I had to sit with everything. And that's when I realized that this wasn't just life being hard. It was something much deeper and spiritually going on. The more I tried to grow, the harder things got. The more I tried to stay disciplined, the more tempted I felt to go back. The more clarity I had, the more confusion would creep in and try to really screw me up badly. And I started asking myself, why does it feel like something is pushing back every single time I start walking with God? And every moment I start to level up, it starts falling apart even more. This is where people might not understand, but I'm going to say this anyways. There are spiritual forces all around us that pay attention to patterns in your life. They don't watch you like a person standing in front of you just critiquing every little thing, but they recognize cycles. They recognize your weak points. It can be family, it can be friends. Satan uses the closest people to you, the closest people to God's chosen ones, to figure out your weakness. They recognize what you run to when you're tired, when you're stressed, when you're alone. And the moment that you try to start breaking these cycles, pressure shows up even more, temptation shows up even more, doubt shows up. It's like someone doesn't want you to grow at all. They don't want you to realize that God is guiding you, and He's always there. Spiritual warfare like this most of the time doesn't look dramatic. Sometimes it just looks like your negative, intrusive thoughts that come out of nowhere. Things for me were extreme emotional spikes that didn't make any sense, and I felt like that bull that just saw the reddest red cloak, and all I knew was rage at the time, and I didn't even know why. Feeling like giving up when you just begin to start doing good and you don't know why these things are coming out of nowhere and stopping you in your tracks. Wanting to go back to certain bad habits that you've already removed when you're doing so good, and you get all these thoughts like, maybe it's not worth it. Maybe I should go back to the drink. Maybe I should go back to the drugs. Maybe I should go back to the women. Going back to those bad habits is always there. One of the hardest things, feeling isolated, even when you're trying to move forward. That's how this works. It hits you mentally, emotionally, and spiritually all at once. It's not going to cut you a break. These people will not cut you a break. They don't want to see you happy. They don't want to see you walk with God. They want to see you fall. And it's hard to come to terms with this. I understand. Believe me, I'm still having trouble with it, understanding all this. But here is the part so many people miss. God allows these seasons not to destroy you, but to refine you. You have to be forged in fire. God allows these things, but he does not make this happen. Remember, Satan does not test the people who are lukewarm to God. He doesn't test the people who are lukewarm. He tests those that are chosen, God's chosen ones, because he wants you to fall. He will use the most beautiful woman, the most handsome man, the most blinging piece of jewelry, the best tasting wines. It doesn't matter. He will use them against you. And you have to use your discernment to get past this. This is not sent. God doesn't let this happen to destroy you, but to refine you, like I said, to strip away what does not belong in your life and what is not allowed to move with you when you move forward. He exposes what's weak and that's not able to move forward with you in your journey. For me, to build discipline where there was nothing but chaos in the past. You're not being attacked because you're weak. You're being attacked and challenged because Satan knows what you're capable of and he's scared, and God allows it so you'll become stronger and be able to have better discernment and not fall in those same patterns and not take the drink or take the drug or sleep with the woman or allow the same patterns to keep happening. And this is the key. You don't win spiritual warfare, you don't win spiritual battles by reacting to everything, if you know what I mean. You win by playing the game of being steady. You pray even when you don't feel like it. You work out when you don't feel like it. You do the things for yourself. You stop the codependency. You do those things that you never did for yourself. You become the parent that you never had. You become the mate that you never had, not as a mate, but you become happy enough with yourself so you don't have to rely on other people for happiness. You stay disciplined even when it's hard. You don't believe everything that enters your mind, because understand this, you are not your thoughts. If you allow the thoughts to come in and you process them, you sit with them in silence, or you just sit with them and allow them to come and go, you'll realize that you're not your thoughts. But if you try to hide these things, you try to run from your shadow and you don't integrate your shadow self or do shadow work, believe me, you will fail. I ran from my shadow for so long, and now that I'm not, I'm starting to get a lot better. You keep moving forward when you feel alone. You have to be able to be alone. You have to be able to sit with yourself and be happy with your thoughts. If everyone disappeared on this world and you were the only person left, you would have nothing but silence. What would you do then? You have to be able to sit with your thoughts. If you are locked in some room by yourself, all you have are your thoughts. And if you're not happy and okay with those thoughts, you will go insane. This is how you fight this battle. This is how you fight back. If your life feels like it's falling apart right now, it might and probably is because everything that isn't meant for your next level is being removed. You might feel like you're going crazy, you might feel like you're crazy, but you're not. You're not. People might tell you that you're crazy, might tell you to take your medicine, might tell you this and that. Believe me, they told me that as well. And I am not on any kind of bullshit anymore. And I am the strongest that I've ever been. And all these people have started falling to the wayside. And now that I'm getting better, people start coming back. But you have to be able to know, a lot of these people you do not want to allow back. They will put you back or try to put you back. No matter how strong you think you are, they will try. Because understand this, a lot of people that you think are your best friends or your closest allies, they don't want to see you happy. They're not happy themselves. They might look like it. Some of them are. Some of them are. Don't look. I'm not saying everyone's like this. But most people, if you look in this world of what's going on today and how many people are warmongers and hate the poor and the downtrodden, and they share all these horrible things on social media, you'll get what I'm saying here. This season right now that you're going on, this season, if it's isolation, if it's chaos, if you're to the point where it's kind of becoming some type of clarity, it has a purpose. And understand this, not every battle that you fight is visible. There are so many things that we cannot see. There is spiritual warfare. There are spirits around us. There are monitoring spirits. There are every type of spiritual warfare going on, and you probably already know this. Because these things are coming in your life doesn't mean that you're losing. It's all spiritual warfare. And the way that we win these battles is by walking with faith in God. You fight back with daily intentional prayer, walking with true faith, understanding, and not just understand, but having faith that you know this will work out if you walk with God, even though you don't have the assurance or any tangible or physical proof that it's happening yet. That is true faith. Going to church on Sunday, saying in social media that you love God and you post memes about God does not give you the right to call yourself a man of faith. This is not faith. Faith is true faith. Discipline over feelings. The enemy wants to use your emotions against you. They will play on your heartstrings. They know that you are a good person. They know that you care more about people than yourself. They know this. They use this against you. They do it to everyone. They did it to me. They will do it to you. Staying consistent. Treat your body as a temple. Eat good. Work out. No one's going to eat good for you. No one's going to work out for you. No one is going to sleep for you. No one's going to read for you. No one's going to study for you. No one's going to practice faith for you. Remove toxic influences, not just alcohol, not just drugs. I'm telling you right now, people as well. People most of all. You have to be very careful with your discernment. Sever ties to the occult. I was married to a woman that practiced witchcraft, and I allowed that. That is one of the main reasons why I went through what I went through. I'm talking about all types of false idols. It doesn't matter if it's money, power, women, crystal ball, whatever you want to say. Evil eye stuff. It does not matter. It's all the same. And not reacting to every single thought that comes into your mind. You have to think. Take a moment. Breathe. Ask God for guidance. Ask Him, is this something that I should be reacting to at this moment? If I say something right now, if I react right now, is this going to help anything at all? If no, don't do it. The social media post, the text, it's all the same. You don't win by reacting. You win by walking with God, remaining steady. You're not crazy. You're not alone. This season has a purpose. Again, not everything you fight, not all the battles you fight in life are visible. There's so much more out there, and we all have to come together. We're all in this together. Remain humble, remain empathetic. Empathy is huge. If you look down on your fellow man and you don't have empathy, you don't have love in your heart for these people, even if they are your enemies, I'm not talking about God's enemies. God's enemies are totally different. You know what David did to Goliath. He didn't write him a friendly letter. He fought him and he chopped his head off. But that's God's enemies. Those are God's enemies, not your enemies. Remember, there is a difference. Remain grounded. Remember, we're all in this together. Everyone can change. That doesn't mean that they will, but they can. Remain steadfast in your faith, daily prayer, and I assure you that you will get through this. We're all in this together, and I love you all.